Now this is a project called a Jigglebot. Now it's a little hard to see, but there's a little motor here. This is the same motor that makes your cell phone vibrate. And a battery pack. And we have a switch. Now we've got a couple ways to make the switch, but when you turn it on, that motor has a weight that spins and makes it vibrate. So this little guy moves around. Now, making this is about as fancy as you can get. They don't have to quite be this difficult. Here's the most simple way to do one. Here is that same little motor, and here is a little cell battery. If you simply hold the battery with the wires on either side, this starts to move and starts to vibrate. Now to make a really simple one of these, here's a straw, cutting it in half, and getting a little bit of popsicle stick. The goal here is to try to get it going without too much work, too much fuss. And I'm just going to try adding some straw bits to my popsicle stick and giving it something to walk with. So right now my legs are straight out. I'm going to add a piece of tape to bend and hold these legs down, kind of like legs. Now it took a little bit of thinking, and what I realized is if I put a piece of tape around the sides of the legs and then start to bend them, one last piece of tape could hold the legs together and help them hold each other kind of down. This is what it looks like to try to figure out how a project works. Now that I have this, I notice my legs aren't quite the same length. I'm going to trim them and try to stand it up. Looks like it stands. Well, with my button and my motor, I'm going to put the wires go on each side of the button battery. And as soon as I press this down, it's going to be on. So now that's on. I need one last piece of tape to attach it to the bug. Now I'm going to attach the motor securely to this little popsicle stick. Hard to do while it's vibrating, but I'm going to get the motor on here so that the energy from the motor is what's making it move. And there it goes. Now what you saw was me making this little bug. And you saw how I struggled to get the legs right. Right now the battery seems a little bit loose. I'm going to pull it off. There. It's not running anymore. But you can try this with other materials. For example, use zip ties for feet. Use little skewers. Or you could even try a toothpick for a foot. Now those were called Jigglebots. This is a Doodlebot. All it has is markers for feet. They're a lot harder to make because the markers and the big battery get bulky. But if you are careful, you are able to place it on here, and once I turn it on, it will start to move. So here we go. Most of the time it makes circles. But you can imagine that if you let this run for a long time, it will do quite a lot for you. So that's the Doodlebug. What you saw earlier in this video, I'm calling this a Jigglebot.